Hi everyone, welcome to the website's call. So I don't think we have any newcomers yet, just the four of us today. If you guys have anything you would want to discuss on the call today, please add them to the meeting minutes. I've shared the link on the chat and add your names in as well. We'll just wait for a couple more minutes in case anyone else joins.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we should start. Shubham, your topic is first. You wanna share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so in the last call we discussed about getting a model for the videos rather than going to different website. So I've done some changes in the showing icons instead of the text here in the resources column. And yeah, that's all the changes.
Well, the icons do look better than writing resources, but can we have them colored and not green? Like
Oh, okay, yeah. So like a red
YouTube
for
one
YouTube.
could be essentially the YouTube one, not this green link or something.
Yeah, sure. That could be done. But I thought of like having a similarity in links. That's what I thought of. We could do that too. Yeah, that could be an
Okay, well,
option.
that's my opinion. Anyone else has any other inputs?
I could try and see how it looks like doing red for this YouTube, and like we could do yellow for docs. No, sorry, presentation, the slides.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, we could try that. Okay. Anybody else? If there is anything else you think could be done here?
I would say I think the same thing I said last time, which is this looks great. I mean, like except for there's an overuse of green, and so that's not entirely your fault per se. If the default color for a hyperlink is green, then um, we should still change it so that it's not just too much green. But I would say that yeah, we should get you into something else to spend time somewhere else because.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
I mean, it's great. I mean, this don't get me wrong. Like, this is great. This is to the extent that we're going to have a page that lists out all the talks, then this is needed. I always feel poorly because there's so many more talks than this that have been done on Meshery. But and so that's why I feel bad about having a list, because the list should be about 4 to 6 times as long. We just don't have them listed, or we just didn't necessarily write them down. But yeah, anyway, this is good. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice that you did icons for the video and the presentations.
Yeah, and like this is for the presentation. Yeah, okay, so like I would change the color and like I could have a screenshot in the PR itself, and you could see like how it looks, right?
Yeah, when you do, if you make an update to an existing PR, it will regenerate the preview.
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's all from my side.
Shubham, are you on the agenda again for things that are happening inside of Mesh Redocs?
Yeah, like what agenda?
Oh, you know what? I'll make one up so that we can talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on, like initially we had a very short agenda, so I went through some of our sites to find places to add stuff. So one thing I noticed is that the nav bar mentions discuss, the footer does not. So since we are using discuss a lot nowadays, we should probably add one here. And there's also no call out on the page. There's only one in the mailing list, sort of a call out in the discussion forum. So probably on the site, we will need more callers to discuss forum. Yeah, so that's one observation. Another thing is on the programs page, we had a problem with the nav bar. So does anyone have a better design of how to change this part of the page? Basically, these two colors are not sitting very well. So we have to think of another way to present this. Anyone has any opinion?
Like I had an opinion about other pages, like not this on this page about Namba. Like on the Layer5 website, we have a shadow below it when we scroll down. So if we could have it here, then it would make like some difference in the Namba, and like shadow will give us like it's a depth effect. That's what I think. A shadow could work here.
So yeah, shadow will work when we scroll down. So we still need something for just when we land. So
Yeah.
yeah. Because a white nav bar might look good, but again, I'm not sure. We'll have to try it out. Okay, so should I create a issue for this discussing? And one issue about the nav bar I think already exists. If not, I'll create one.
Makes sense to me. Both of the suggestions. So we've definitely talked about the internship program section in the past about think about this very issue. So if the background was white, then yeah, the text goes black. It could still be the case that the cards themselves are still dark green with a white logo, because that would still have contrast. It's just that the page's background would be white. Seems like that would work. If you scroll down a little bit, okay, so we just have those 5 listed. We might want to list an internship with Layer5. We generally perpetually have people come intern. That would even out the page a little bit. Yeah. It makes sense.
Right. Okay, so before Deepak, I'll just finish off with another observation. On the programs page over here, we have this drop down. So when I was going through it, I did not really understand what this, like, should we have a list of all the programs here, or otherwise, like, what is the purpose of this chapter?
That's good. Sorry. Yeah. I think it's too early in the morning for me. So, yeah, for some of these programs, for many of the programs, we've been participating year after year or quarter after quarter or what have you. So we definitely participated in Hacktoberfest in 2020. I thought we did in 2019 as well. And so in concept, we should have the other years. It's meant to be, I think, something of an archive navigator, so you can see prior years.
Please.
We had content for 2020. Don't know where it is. It might be that we just, yeah. I mean, in 2020, we had a page for 2020, and then someone did the right thing and they updated it to 2021, but somewhere in there we lost 2020. I think part of the other thing that Deborah is pointing out is that, like, it's not necessarily obvious what the drop down is for in the first place. And if, yeah, it might be nice if it was a complete programs, if it was an archive for all of the programs, not just the one that you're on, maybe. That second part is probably less of a big deal, but since we don't have hundreds of entries, it probably wouldn't hurt to have the entire program archive in there. I will try to assist with note taking so that this is a bit easier. Does Deepion, do you want to try this part on Layer5 IO?
Yeah, I can give it a shot. I have to look into it. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. There's just to make sure that we're kind of tracking against the same goal. There's kind of two aspects to what we're talking about. Do you want to recap those two aspects?
Yeah, a recap would be nice. Like if you can tell me, like just if you can just take me through it.
Yeah.
Again. Yeah,
Sure.
that would be great.
Okay. Actually, this is great. I'm glad that I asked that, because for future communicating, when we're speaking together in the future, I would have left that conversation with you having said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then you not knowing what you're going to do. And then we would come back a week later and it would be like, what? Oh, okay, no, let's talk about it again. And then we would come back the second week and you'd say, great, I tried it out. Oh, I'm still trying to figure out this GraphQL thing. We talk about it, we kind of figure it out. And then we come back for like the fourth week. And then a month later, we're done with the drop down. And then I slit my wrist. Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, so we can avoid Lee slitting his wrists by recapping real quick. On this particular, Deepion, have you had a chance? I just can't remember, but have you had a chance to contribute on this particular site, the layer5.io?
Yeah, I did that, like the Spiffy and Spy data set on the landscape.
Oh yeah. You did a great job. You did a great job, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
Yeah. There's an executive at HPE. He was just tweeting over the last weekend. He was tweeting about how there's like yet more service meshes coming out, and there are. And he was saying, "Well, hey, do you know what's unique or what's universal to most of these service mesh implementations?" And he was calling out Spiffy and Spire. And that same HPE executive, he was one of the guys that helped provide input into our landscape. So he has a commit or two on the landscape. And so, like people talk about it. And so I'm glad that it's back up, because that's definitely something that I can see him pointing people to again. So I'll have to show you the tweet so you can go tell them to come check out the newly revised landscape.
Yep.
So yeah. So there were two suggestions to be done on the programs page. In that dropdown on the upper right hand corner, it's intended to be an archive or an archive navigator for each of the instances of the times that we've participated in a particular program. So for Hacktoberfest, it should have at least like Hacktoberfest 2020, probably 2019. And that would be the same for each of the programs. So that's feedback number one, is like, oh, hey, we're missing some entries. Feedback number two is that instead of, and so this is wrong. Well, no, this is actually right. Anyway, instead of listing just a program specific archive, because we only have 20 or so entries to put in that dropdown, perhaps we should just have it be a global program archive navigator. So not just listing Google Season of Docs on this page, but all of the programs and all of the prior years. Pretty similar to what you'd find on like a WordPress site, where you have an archive drop down and it shows you all the months and all the years that you've got posts.
Okay, so it is like we have to remove all the other pages like Google Season of Docs, Google Summer of Code, and like combine it in one page and just put the drop down menu in which the user can access all those archives of different contests.
Super close. Yeah. Except for the part about dedicating a page to the archive, it would be more like, hey, you can navigate to any page any program page that you would like to look over the details of that program, while at the same time you would have a universal navigator.
Okay, that can be done. Yes, we can do that.
Nice. Yeah.
Moving on, we have Deepak's PR on the resources section. So this has been open for a long time. Yes.
Is there any PR, any issue created regarding this drop down?
Not yet. I'll create one and assign it to you.
Okay, so I'll be working on this.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Or sorry, no problem. I'll create this one and assign it to you. Right. So this PR is ready to merge, I think, except for one thing. Like, I thought we could use a code snippet over here. We have it on the other blogs, plus it's not really clear. So like Deepak, you can check out other, like, I think there are examples on the blogs. There's a code snippet syntax available. You can just add this in there. After that, I think this is good to go.
Yeah, sure. I'll check out.
Yeah. Right. So also about the navigation, I was up all night last day doing it, but I still couldn't. And I was really busy this entire week. So I'll again try to do it. I'm really frustrated that I haven't done it till now, but I'm trying to. So as of now, there are no updates on it design wise. So there's a lot of stuff which I've done through the code, but it still doesn't work. So yeah.
Yeah. If everyone, if you remember the design, I think, was it last week that you had shown with the design? Yeah. And the design, if you were here and you remember, it looked pretty great.
Yeah, I can't show it again because right now it's like there's some issue with GraphQL and it's broken. So I'll have to fix that. So like I'm continuously working on it, but since I have my exam, so I can't work on it whole week, working on it alternate days and stuff. But I'll try to get it done as soon as possible. Right. So this is done. The next topic is by Deepak again. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So, can you like go to the issue, like the link?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So there's this blog we are supposed to write. This is like a recap blog for the service mesh performance office hours. So actually, I was supposed to write before me. It was uh, Sanku sir. So I guess he's busy. So and then I got busy because of my exams and stuff. So I was like I didn't get time to work on it. So I think there's someone else who wants to work on. I Anshuman wants to work on it. So maybe Anshuman could like also like Anshuman asked me a question. So I have commented down on like what is supposed to be done. So yeah, Anshuman you could work on it. Thanks.
Okay. So it is like I have to create I have to create the blog based on the necessary points of the video which is mentioned above.
Yeah, sort of like for the people who were not there on the office hours. So like a recap. Like I'll give you some resources like to get a reference of what it actually means, like the recaps stuff. So you'll have to go through the video and like make some points and stuff. I'll help you if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll comment on some resources there after
Okay.
this call. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, sure.
Okay, so talking about blogs, it reminds me again of resources nowadays. So since Anshuman and Deepak, both of you are interested in writing out, we can like right now there's a pause on feeding on more resources over here once
Yeah,
the task of Deepak, like the service mesh performance one gets merged. We can share more docs with you guys and you can probably start adding in more resources to this page. So like while we
yeah,
work on the filter, we'll actually
sounds
need ample of resources to filter from. So we need to
true, true.
look into that as well.
Mhm. Yep.
And we have to like yeah. We have to get more content in order to have the filter, and so that's why we need to. The nice thing about kind of recapping a talk, and there's a lot of talks actually. So Shubham, Shubham is, well, when we were starting out the call, Shubham was itemizing a lot of talks about Meshery already. And I was saying, you know, that's great work. It always bugs me when we make a list because like the list that we have, there's like 4 times that as many talks that have been given about Meshery. And so there's plenty of opportunity to kind of write up a talk. The nice thing about writing up a talk or doing a bit of rewriting, like Devopriya is saying, that there's there's a lot of materials that have been written that as a community that we've already written, but we just didn't publish them here. And so the nice thing about both of those activities is it's an excellent learning opportunity because one that's accomplishable. It's not like you have to go research a bit, you have to go do all of your own research. Rather, like basically all the content that is needed is already available and written. And what we want to do is massage it some and put it onto the site. In the case of a talk, like there's a video and illustrations from the slides. So, and sometimes there's even a transcription, which a lot of times aren't that great, but still you're able to watch the video, kind of listen. And so you basically, you learn as you write it down, and all of the illustrations are already been made for you. And so it's a lot easier than having to start from scratch. and there's a lot that gets learned each time you do it. So yeah, anyway, there's quite a bit of materials that we already have written that can be reposted here. So it's good. So Anshuman, if you're successful with this first one, you should, and you want to do some more, there's a bunch more. So
Right. So I think we're out of agendas today. Does anyone have anything else to talk about? Any updates on whatever you have been doing?
So I've got a couple items. So one is that I'm still tracking toward making sure that Yasha's effort around the discuss call out is done. I haven't gone through it yet once. So Yash, it's an eventuality. we will do it. We will get there. In the meantime, Yash, I encourage you to set it aside so that you can focus and go forth on other items. So our biggest project here is Meshery.io. So certainly putting in time to that site is helpful. It's good as people come there. The stuff that you all were talking about creating more links to the Discuss forum and a call out is quite a great suggestion. There's a lot of people who have questions as they first go to use Meshery. So where to ask the questions, the Discuss forum. We ultimately need to get some videos going on here. We need a lot more animated GIFs, if for nothing else, of how to use Meshery. So we will probably go forth and create a video series, a very short video tutorials. There's a professor at the University of Austin that was messaging last week in a Slack. He has a couple of PhD candidates that like to work on service mesh performance. And his question was, hey, it had been a while since he had tried Meshery. So he was asking, like, how do you deploy a sample app and generate load against it? It's like, yeah, we just need a short video on that. That's definitely something that Meshery does. So anyway, just kind of talking about areas of need. Layer5 IO is even more important because it represents Meshery plus all of the other projects as well. I think a couple of you are looking at digging into Meshery B0.7 and the refactoring that's going on in there. There are links inside of the meeting minutes right now about what that restructuring is and how Redux is being incorporated. And so, yeah, we've been calling it out a lot because it's going to be a big initiative. And it's a good time to get involved if you want to try it. So Shubham, on the Meshery docs, we're about to make the .6 release. There's a set of manual steps to be performed to snapshot the docs and save off the .6 version of what the docs are. Because right now there's a navigator to go back into the archives by version in Meshery docs. And so Meshmate Aditya Chatterjee had worked on versioning the docs. And ultimately, it'll be good if he's not the only one that knows what those manual steps are. There aren't very many of them. In essence, you just build the site with a make site copy the contents of the underscore site folder and then persist those contents. It's actually a great way to inflate your contribution stats to Meshry, because you'll generate like, 100 and something pages, files. When people, so if we do make a video series, which like we absolutely should, there's Mr. Wick, who's on the call, it's like there's another eventuality that will happen, is the guy's really good at modeling, rendering, shadowing, these other techniques of like of 3D graphics and working with more in-depth video other than just simpler recordings. And so it's an eventuality that Mr. Wick, you'll probably end up being quite adept with regular video as well, which I think was going to be a lot more simple than what you're already doing. And so I look forward to the day that we do have just these short little like video series, video clips, like 60 seconds to 2 minutes on how to create a performance profile, how to deploy a sample app. And I was calling that out again because I think that on meshry.io, like I wonder when they hit docs.meshry.io, is it overwhelming the number of links, or is it really helpful to kind of have to have so many links so that they know where to go? I'm not sure.
Are you suggesting we have like a landing page for the docs or something like that?
Well, or this is one, but that was kind of an open reflection of like, is this a good one? At one point in the past, it was just like 3 buttons. I think it was like quick start, concepts, and forget the other one.
Guides.
Okay. Oh, there you go. The buttons are not necessarily very interactive, so that didn't help anything. But anyway, I'm just kind of openly reflecting as we think about some things that we might want to do next. For sure, propagating a discuss call out over to the service mesh performance site as well, smpspec.io, and then onto getnighthawk.dev. It's
some parts of the site are really not very uniform. Like suppose this one has slides, breaks the symmetry. Also there were cards here. They're of different sizes.
those are good call outs. Yeah.
Especially here. 3 of these are completely different sizes.
Look, and that card, and this particular card, it doesn't necessarily look like a card because it doesn't have a shadow around the top. It doesn't have an outline. Yikes. Yeah. So those are good challenges for folks to pick up. I'll type in a couple of those into the meeting minutes, because so uniformity to the sizing of the grid of each of the grids, basically. There's like 3 of them: the slides, the blogs, the getting connected cards.
Like this one can even come to the middle, something like so that looks compact. Right now it looks like a puzzle. So
is that of interest to anybody? Does
Since
anybody
there are 4 of them, could we like equalize 2 and 2 on one line for the time being?
and potentially we could, potentially we could even just change them all so that they actually are of uniform size, so that the text itself either truncates or the image size, the images are resized to a common size, or yeah. Go on. Is anybody wanting to look into that?
The card issue.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be taking care of that.
Oh, nice. Anshuman. All right. Anshuman, do you also want to try your hand at the uniformity of size of the resources cards?
Like all of them, all the docs and like all the grid sizing.
You're right. Right.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to figure it out what we can do.
Nice. Nice. Anshuman, is there any of the site at this point? Have you contributed to all of the sites, or are you still working your way through?
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever go to a restaurant and then they have like a God, what do they call it? They have it's like a taste test platter. It's like they have like, you go there, they have like 10 different kinds of beers. You can't have like 10 pints because you'll be inebriated and won't be able to walk out of the restaurant by the time you're done. Instead, they give you like this, sometimes they call it like a taste flight, or anyway, they give you like these little glasses so you can do all 10. And that way you go around the world, like around all 10 beers. And here there's like 6 sites. You can do little contributions across all 6. Get you badged up on your community profile. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about sizing, I just noticed these cards have suddenly become huge. Was this intentional? These were small before.
Nope.
Okay, I'm not sure which PR did this, but I just noticed it right now, like before I was showing something. So this also has to be like up to here and of the same size. Like this white space has to be removed.
Can you please repeat which size space?
These cards that you see, initially they were of like there's a lot of white space in the bottom, right? So that has to be removed.
Okay. Yes.
This is on meshery.io. The other changes were in SMP.
Okay, so I'll be creating an issue and I'll also be working on this one. Okay.
Sounds great. Shiman, refresh me. Your user is a member of the orgs, right?
Yes, Vinayak Sharma.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wait, why am I looking at the wrong? Were you just saying that you'd work with Vinayak quite a bit, or?
Yes, actually, he's my friend, so I got to know about this org.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very good. Yeah, Vinayak was around for quite some long time. I was just looking at his name last night and removing his name from Figma just because he hasn't been around for a while. So, but if he comes back, we'll add it back. Just in terms of Figma access. But
Okay.
on Shimon, but as you go to create the issues, does your user have triage capability for the GitHub projects?
Yes. I can assign and reassign. Like I've been given
It's
access.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah, good. That helps grease the wheels as you go to, if you're creating and self-assigning, great. And then following up on what Devopriya was asking, other ideas or other things that people, so I think Deepion, you and Mr. Agarwal, we're going to look into Mesh UI. Is that right?
The thing is, I'm really struggling with setting it up on my local machine. Like, I've been continuously using the discussion forum. I think Shantan and Abhishek were helping me out with it. And so after I figure it out, I can just get started right away. But as for now, I'm yet to find out the issue, which will, like, I'm yet to sort out the issue that I'm facing to set it up. There is some kind of error, I don't know why, but yeah, I'll get started right away after I set it up.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Good. I'll check out the discuss issue too. See if
Yeah,
you've got all your
it's been
questions
a pretty
answered.
long thread actually. Like, it's been going on for days.
Perfect. Perfect. There might be an award then at the end of the month, because longest, biggest troublemaker, I guess, is the award.
This new integration with Discuss and Slack is really helpful. Like the threads, it's really convenient to look through all of them.
Surprised. It's nice. So by the way, there's other aspects of things that go on in the community other than just the web properties, but there's some automation behind the properties that help drive some of the interactive forums. And so we end up using Zapier a little bit. We were using ifttt.com. If this, then that. Those are two similar things, Zapier and IFTTT. We also use Integromat, which is actually really similar. They're just all kind of low code integration platforms. So the particular integration between the Discuss forum and our Slack does not use any of those integration tools. Rather, it's just direct. So yeah, I don't know if that kind of a thing interests people. Speak up, because there's more of that to be done. I think Pranav Singh, the beginner 86 on GitHub and on Twitter, and I guess forever will forever be the beginner. It'll be pretty funny when he's like really good. He's just making fun of everybody at that point. He's like really, really good, and he's still the beginner. And so he's trying to go propagate a GitHub workflow. And does anybody else know the particular workflow that he's working on right now, how it works or what it's supposed to do?
Yeah, this is another PR for the same purpose. So basically all the good first issues on every repo, it sends a notification to Slack, to the newcomers channel or to the respective channels. So this one still needs approval. He has approved it. He worked on it. There's one of SMP, one on SMP spec as well. This is a measure that this is pretty useful right now, because we are facing a rapid influx of newcomers right now. So it'll be great to get notified when a good first issue happens.
Yeah. So again, speaking of ways to inflate your contribution numbers, like this is a great example. So this particular YAML file needs to be put into each of the repositories. And And so, yeah, so it's just a copy and paste job, more or less. So, and she's doing the right thing. She's racking up the points. So anyway, yeah, there's like 60 plus or 70-ish, something in repositories. So feel free. Oh, by the way, everybody else is welcome to, take notes and drop your name on things that you might be working towards. So we should, if you're going to be here and spending the time, like we should make sure that your name is against something if you want to, if you're going to do something. Yash, I don't know if this is something you want to assess on getnighthawk.dev. I can't remember if we. I know this is your favorite topic.
No, okay, I will do it. So by the way, I was just looking into Meshery UI, but it's I don't think. Do I have to make new callouts, or the callouts are already there?
To look to see if there's the opportunity for, if there are already callouts, and if not, maybe suggest where a few could be. Could be the same here as well under Meshery docs. I just don't remember if we really tell people. We tell them, join the Slack, join the Slack, join the Slack, join the Slack, join. We tell them that a lot, and that's great. And a lot of people join, but we keep losing the history of like apparently in some cases with Deepayan, the long history of how to set up Meshery UI, which is really helpful to other people. You might think it's kind of a waste because there's a lot of back and forth and people get lazy and they're just like, oh, let me just jump. What was the answer? Let me just see the answer thread. And that's a feature on Discuss. So let's make sure that we do that. We mark it answered and kind of highlight it when we're done. But that's not withstanding the value of the troubleshooting process itself. I got to imagine that all of you have had a similar experience where it wasn't necessarily the answer, the solution. I'm sorry, yeah, the answer that was marked as the solution that actually helped you, but it was the troubleshooting process somewhere in the middle that actually got you over the hump. So it's good. It's good it's like showing your work, and other people learn as you show your work. Oh, that's the worst, right? Your math teacher gives it back to you. Where's your work? I don't know. The answer's right, isn't it? What's your problem? What's it? Anyway, I have my seventh grade son. He's going through that right now. Show your work. Show your work.
Does he come home and complain to you about it?
Yeah. Or it's written in the margins like, where's your work? And you can just hear it in that voice. Where's your work? Where's your work? And then, it doesn't help.
Did say it. I'm second year in college and still teachers tell us the same thing.
Yeah, do they? That's funny. From now on, whenever you read it, you're just going to think of that. Where's your work? Show your work. My work's in my calculator where I typed it in the first place. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh. We'll have to go create a custom, like, when you mark the solution on Discuss, it'll be like, thanks for showing your work. We'll be like, that'll be like the award for the month.
We did have awards for discuss initially, right? Like, I remember talking about something.
Totally. Yeah, that's one of those things that that we need, like what we should do. And I thought we had given out at least one, but yeah, there's actually a lot of statistics that the Discuss forum will track by itself, which can make the activity of identifying who answered the most questions or who asked the most questions, or whatever the other activities are. Yeah, definitely. It's a great call out for us to make in the community meeting and just have a little celebration, around it. And it could be like those two awards opposite one another, like who was the most inquisitive, and who was providing the most solutions. And it's actually being the most inquisitive, you might think of it wrong as being like, oh, you're the least knowledgeable. It's like, no, that's not actually what it's saying. What it's saying is you're the one that's learning the fastest, or you're the one that's helping everyone else who's too embarrassed to ask learn the fastest. Like it's actually a really good thing. Or you're the one that's just sharing. Like they don't all have to be questions. You can just go over there and say, hey, look, today I learned this, and you share it with everyone else. So yeah. But to Deborah Priya's point, we should definitely do awards. Of course, we have to have like Discuss forum call outs to point people over there first, so they can do the award. So maybe if Lee would actually, like review Yash's PR, that would be helpful.
Yash's PR is for the handbook. Discuss call out already exists on the Layer5 site, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And the call out for handbook, we cannot like merge the PR till the handbook is completely ready after review and everything. So yeah.
I need to go review. All right, so put an action item for Lee. Great. Anybody else have any other items?
Yeah, I just was browsing and just found an issue on Layer5 project service mesh performance with join community. Lower. Yeah, above the, yeah, you can open it, and when you go down the, yeah, at last, this call out with breaking, no padding, and the word, the written inside, it's also extended. The join our talented community is not in the footer, it's in the image only. Yeah.
So the button overflows to the footer.
Yeah, and there's no margin below that also. Yeah.
Yikes. Who was that? Who was that was just speaking?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's a great find. Service mesh performance.
And I'm just and it's the same component we use on community page also, but it's working fine there. So I'm just looking at this right now. Community page. It's the same. Yeah, this about join the community. Yeah. It's fine here, but it's not. So I'm looking into it.
Yeah. Someone might have
It's fine
forgotten.
now. Okay. Something's wrong with this. It looks fine now. I just refreshed the page.
It might be in part that some of the resources or some of the images are too large. They're taking too long to download. And so other elements get drawn on the screen before the images are down. And so the culprit is most likely that image there.
Yeah.
Which is a photo I took in Guadalajara, Mexico, on the rooftop of yeah. You gotta so these are all Mexicans, so they were doing they were doing this party thing. Like they're having a party and they put a I think it was an apple. I don't know if it was an apple or something else, but put the apple in their mouth, and then they have to race each other. So they I felt bad for some of these people, but they have to have the apple in their mouth, and then you have to transfer it to the other person. So the other person comes up and like bites it, and you're like, almost kissing each other as you're trying to like race this other team and stuff. So, yeah. So
Yeah. It's probably due to the picture because it's fine now.
yeah, it might be. Yeah, I mean, it is, Yash, like something that we haven't open. A couple of issues that are open on is the speed of the site and issues with stuff like images being too large. So it'd be great to confirm if this particular page has that issue or not. We don't necessarily need that picture to be of the highest quality. It's okay if it isn't. Performance on the page. Well, isn't that silly? The service mesh performance page is having a potential performance issue. Okay. These guys know what they're talking about, apparently. Well, Devapriya, thanks a bunch for hosting. This is really great. I think we've got like 8 or so issues that we need to go open up and hunt down. So
I'll create those issues right now. Anshuman, I think you were supposed to create the issue for the blog grid.
Yes.
Yeah. Anshuman and someone else was also interested in working. I think Shubham was interested in working on Meshery.io. So
On blogging?
no, on creating the callouts of the same size. Was it
Okay.
you or was it someone else?
Can you explain that issue one more time to me?
The size thing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this needs to be reduced.
Yeah. It was you, right? Who said you want to work on this?
No, it was initially Anshuman, but I guess there is a lot of things on Anshuman's plate, so I could volunteer for it.
Yeah. Okay. Anshuman can work on the SMP spec, and you can take care of the Meshery.io.
Yeah, but here the like the overlay effect is like, can you hover over it? So this needs to be look like it, or like, is there anything else we could like done like, so it's not highlighting it? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So I think the effect is fine. Just the size.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Okay.
cards.
So that could be done. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a like really small suggestion. Can you open a docs page, docs.meshery.io? Yeah. So like in the footer. Yeah. So here like we could change the Slack icon, and we don't have any hover effect for the calendar. So that's a bit odd. It's a very small suggestion. So I was going over it.
In the meshery.io, I have created the same issue regarding the Slack icon, but that was the color issue,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was also done a long time ago. So we can like pull it off from there, and we could just add it to here.
So this could be a good first issue, I guess. So we could link that PR as well. So anybody interested could look over it and like had an idea of what is need to be done.
Yeah, so it's two parts, right? It's the coloring for the calendar, and then it's the addition of the discuss link.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's all. We have a screenshot. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you all for joining. We'll probably meet another week throughout the week.
Thank you, Deborah. It's nice to see everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Show your work. Show your work.